What's up, everybody? We're at our Center Store Grocery Sessions here in Dallas, which includes, I think there's 8 sessions going on, including beverage and coffee, tea, and cocoa, which are 2 sessions that my guests are participating in. So this is Troy with Bones Coffee Company. He's been coming for the past couple of years, has had a lot of success, and we're gonna dig into some of the experiences that he's had along the way. So Troy, thanks so much for joining us. And to get started, tell everybody about the brand itself, which, by the way, has some amazing artwork on its products.
Well, first of all, thanks for inviting me. I appreciate being here. The ECRM events for me have been fantastic. So, but before we get into that, you want to talk about the brand. So, interestingly, family-owned company, lived in Portland, Oregon, moved down to Cape Coral, Florida, Fort Myers area. Sitting around the table one afternoon, hey, did anybody get a good cup of coffee around here yet? And the answer was a resounding no. So they said, why don't we do our own? Well, next thing you know, 6 years later, they're doing making products right on their front porch. They have D2C products going out the door. 6 years later, they're 25 million in sales. So it's been a fantastic journey for them so far.
So did they start like making it in their house, like roasting it in their house? Or?
Yeah, one of the greatest pictures ever is a FedEx package on the front porch. They had packages going direct to consumer right from their front stoop. So they literally were producing right in their house and shipping to customers from their front porch.
Wow, and then just little by little just grew. And were they doing it local? How did they start out?
Yeah, 100% of it was started out direct to consumer, actually. So they built the business within 6 years. They built a 50,000 square foot facility right in Cape Coral.
Yeah.
But they started out D2C and then grew some local business for sure. Some great partners like Farmer Joe's, 1.7 miles down the street from their office. They do a great job for us. And accounts like Publix. Publix brought us in 200 stores right out of the gate. So really started some of that retail business early, but most of it was D2C.
Well, take us through you brought some products here with you. Walk us through, and for the podcast listeners, tell them about the descriptions on some of these, because the artwork, for those of you on video, you're gonna see it, but it's really cool artwork. And where did they come up with the theme?
Yeah. So the owners are very eclectic, very music oriented, and very artful, and you can see that in some of the packaging. Here's an example of our Nightmare Before Christmas Rough Weather offering. It's an oatmeal flavor, oatmeal cream pie flavor. It's fantastic, but we do have great relationships with partners like Disney and Paramount and Marvel, so we're able to do some of those nice collaborations, if you will. And speaking of one of the biggest ones that we have, obviously, is Star Wars. So if you're a Star Wars fan, like most people are, here's some Dark Side chocolate truffle for you. But it's a great partnership with Disney. We've been very successful at retail. Retailers love when we're able to bring that to them. It's really a differentiator in the coffee category for them.
Yeah, where did Bones come from?
Yeah, that's interesting. The owners were already doing a t-shirt business, and so some of the neat graphics and the skeleton, all the bones of the skeleton were on the graphics of the t-shirt, and then they took that when they had the idea of starting their own coffee company to bring that to the packaging and artwork for the coffee as well.
Okay, see, now I get it. Now it makes sense, because I saw the t-shirts that you have. The bags that you have, the designs are so cool. It looks like they were made for shirts.
Yeah, for sure.
And for merchandise.
Right.
So you started with the merchandise and then you turned it
But
into...
if you go to our website, we do have a great merchandise offering on our website as well, whether it's coffee, mugs, tumblers, t-shirts. You can find everything at our website.
Gotcha. And the coffee, so you have unique flavors too. Right here in front of us, white chocolate peppermint bark, right?
That's
Rough weather, oatmeal cream pie. Then they also have ready to drink lattes. So here's one of them: salty siren, sea salt and caramel mocha flavored latte.
It's fantastic.
And then the other one here,
we have cookies and dreams. Another fantastic one that slowly moved into our #1, or I should say quickly has moved into our #1 flavor.
So when did you launch the RTDs?
So RTDs in retail really launched last year, or 2 years ago, I'm sorry, 2 years ago at Walmart. So one of our biggest partners, one of the biggest partners out there is Walmart. We'll actually be having a breakfast session with them tomorrow, and we're going to sponsor the lattes for the session as well. But they brought us in over 2,800 stores last year. We're close to 3,500 stores this year. They've been a great partner of ours.
That's awesome. That's great. And then how many flavors do you have? Because you only brought a small sampling here.
Yeah, this is definitely a small sampling compared to what we have. So we tout 30 plus flavors in our core portfolio, if you will. But then we bring in limited time offerings like Shark Bite. We have the seasonal offerings, which this is a good one, and you mentioned it, the white peppermint chocolate bark. That's a great one for the consumer to see. And then we do the seasonal or the licensed products with Star Wars and Paramount and Marvel and partners like that. So at the end of the day, it's probably like 75 to 80 flavors when you add them all together.
Gotcha. And obviously I saw the pumpkin related one, right?
Pumpkin,
Everyone's got to have some sort of pumpkin or pumpkin spice
Sure,
at some point
absolutely,
during the year.
absolutely.
Do the seasonal ones, do you find people like really like excited waiting for them to come out?
Yeah,
Complaining that they're not out off season?
Our fan base, we have over 1.1 million followers on social media. So we have a significant base of consumers or customers that are looking for the next best thing. And so not only when it comes to coffee, but you mentioned the merchandise as well. They're looking for that next mug to be able to bring in with the next flavor. So it's really pretty cool. And then from a retailer environment standpoint, most retailers will bring in, say, our core lineup of flavors into the retail set. Space is limited, so we bring in our core flavors into the core sets, but we do a lot of seasonal in and out offerings, particularly with shippers. So we'll offer a shipper for the season, so we can do an in and out type offering, which is really good.
That's great, and that makes it a lot easier for them. It's not like they got to break it into the planogram.
Correct.
They just put it out there, and it's perfect for seasonal related stuff.
Absolutely. We like to talk in one of the conversations, or a lot of the conversations that we have with buyers, and a lot of the buyers at your show, they talk about wanting to win the seasons. That's important for them. So that's when the consumer rush or customer rush is coming into their stores at a high level, and so they want to make sure they have the right offerings at the right time, and even from an incrementality standpoint to be able to drive category growth.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And now with that social media following that you have, how do you leverage that to drive people to the stores? Because I know buyers love it when you have a good following and that you could use that.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely cross-pollinate. Again, I've been on the retail side of the business for Bones Coffee for 2 years. They've been all D2C for 6 prior to that, and a significant part of that is their advertising and their social media content. They do a great job with that. We have very loyal customers, so that we kind of pivot with that into the retail space and let the retailer know that we're going to bring those same consumers who are ordering D2C to their retail outlet.
So you could tease out some things. Do you do anything that's just limited to in-store?
Typically, we'll work with individual retailers. So as we've gone into the retail environment, we're partnering with some of the retailers on their marketing specific plans, which is pretty neat. So we can kind of really get creative from ground zero with them as we enter into their stores.
Yeah, because this way you tease it on social media. It's like, you got to go into retailer X, so you got to go here to pick it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then back and forth. So that's awesome. So you've had a few big successes here with the retailers, and I want to dive into that because each one kind of had its own flavor in terms of follow-up and all that. So you want to start with the first one, which you met as your first person?
First one. First meeting. So unbelievable. So I started in June of 2023. The first ECRM meeting that I attended was July of 2023, and my first customer was Hotspot Convenience Stores. So it was great. Sean Holmes came in, sat down, and he just looked at our portfolio of different packages and said, "I'll take the RTDs; those would look great in our stores. I'll take the ground coffee; those would be great in our stores." And it was my first meeting. I'm like, "Are all the ECR meetings going to be just like this? Because if they are, it's going to be fantastic." So, long story short, we have launched. We launched in January of this year. In 40 of their locations, which is a huge win for us. One of our first entries into the convenience retail market with our products. So that was pretty cool.
And wait, one thing I want to point out.
Yeah.
Now, he said he met with them in 2023 and just launched in January of this year on the shelves.
Yeah.
That's an important point because this is the reality when you're dealing with the larger chains. It takes time from that first meeting until, could you
absolutely.
Share a little bit about what went on during that time and how the process worked.
Yeah, I think with any CPG company, it's always driven by follow-up. So you meet a customer for the first time or introduce your products for the first time. There's definitely going to be follow-up. So part of the process is follow-up and continuous process of follow-up, because at the end of the day, our customers are busy themselves. So to find time and to be able to secure time, it may take one or two or three follow-ups to get a response and to lock in. But other than that, then honestly, at additional shows, got to meet the folks again at additional ECRM shows, which was nice. So that kind of brought the attention back to the prize, and that was gaining availability and getting distribution. So saw all those guys again, and Sean and team, and we were able to lock down and get in stores in January.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, did you have to make any adjustments to packaging or any marketing along the way to address that particular retailer?
Yeah, for hotspot convenience stores, we did not. So our 11-ounce RTDs, we went in with 5 flavors. He gave us premium eye-level shelf space, which was fantastic. Sean, I appreciate that. Shout out to you. But fantastic win with Hotspot, and we're doing well with them to date.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. Now, what you have 2 other retail wins?
I'll give you a
big
couple.
ones?
Yeah, a couple quick stories. One of them is Walgreens. So at that same first meeting, so Hotspot was my first meeting, so that's why we led off with them. But I also met with Meijer at that meeting, and so same thing, very similar. Loved our products, wanted to see more. Sent samples to the buyer, followed up. Line review time, we got a submission to submit. So again, 1 year later, so last July of 2024. So again, I met him in July of 23. July of 24 is when we went into the sets. And right now, as a matter of fact, with Meijer, they're one of our best in class shows. So we actually use the data from Meijer's results in our presentations to other retailers because we've been so successful.
Gotcha. That's great. And now the third one you said was Walgreens?
Yeah, third one's Jeremy. Shout out to Jeremy. And this was a little bit longer haul, but Jeremy, I appreciate the end result. So I probably met, I don't remember if it was the July of 23 show. It probably was, but I have met with Jeremy and his team and his coworkers at every event up to this point. And I've been to 12 so far. So I've been to 12 events. I've probably seen them each one. And most recently, the show in Las Vegas, we connected again, and Jeremy pulled the trigger and was like, we got to move forward with this. And so he said, send me your new item paperwork and let's get this thing rolling. So happy to announce that we launched 2 flavors of our cold brew lattes in Walgreens at over 3,800 locations in April.
Wow.
So it's fantastic.
That's amazing,
another big win.
Yeah. Now each of these again took a while but again that's the natural process.
Absolutely.
So what is, based on your experience with all 3, what is the I guess one common thread when it comes to follow-ups? Like, how did you approach your follow-ups, staying in touch with them, but not getting too aggressive in your follow-ups?
Yeah. Well, we're fortunate. So I always say I have the plethora of riches in terms of selling this brand. I think it's a great brand when consumers are able to touch, feel, see the various flavors, the fun and unique imaging and graphic artwork, taste the cold brew lattes or the lattes, and see how good they taste. The brand itself sells, which is fantastic. With that being said, there is some work on my end too. So,
so what are you doing here?
so there's definitely follow-up involved and constant communication. So you're right, you don't want to be overbearing to the retail partner, but consistent communication with the retailer is important to keep you front of mind. And I think that's what, in any one of those scenarios, but particularly with the Walgreens scenario, we've been front of mind with Jeremy and the Walgreens team since that first meeting, and it's just taken a little bit of time for us to get there, but at the end of the day, we got to the finish line.
Yeah, and it's just consistency over time.
Yep.
You stayed in front of them, regular conversations, both a mix of in-person and through email and other communications.
For sure.
You're very active on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And I think that plays a role in it because people see you.
Yeah, Yeah, well, we have some of these events, and we attend a lot of the trade show events that are out there, but one of the big ones for us has been and is ECRM. Again, I can't say enough about ECRM and the opportunity that they present in terms of getting in front of a retailer or a buyer from a retailer for 10 minutes. So they're they're 10-minute sessions, but you get 10 minutes and you're with the buyer and you make that connection. And so from there, that leads to follow-up and consistency with follow-up and takes you to a happy place at the end of the day.
Yeah, so my question is, in between those, right? So you have these, these larger retailers, it's gonna be a longer term, right? It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yep.
What are you going after in between? I always say it's good to have some,
Yeah.
coals in the fire while you're going after these big ones.
Well, you definitely have pipeline.
Yeah.
You got your pipeline list out there of targeted accounts. So for me, every customer doesn't come to every ECRM event every time.
Yeah.
So in between there certainly is follow up with customers that I've met at an ECRM. But we certainly have a pipeline of local, regional, and national accounts that we call in on a regular basis. And a lot of it is determined by the retailer. They have their line reviews at specific times throughout the year. You kind of have the one shot or a couple shots to present and present your line, and then there's the category review process when product actually goes to shelf. So they pick you, and then next thing you know, resets happen, and hopefully you're on shelf.
Yeah, and so you got plenty to do in between while you're working on these others, and you guys are active on RangeMe as well?
Absolutely, yeah. Our full portfolio is on RangeMe, which has been great. We've got numerous requests for product samples, and certainly leads to new customers through RangeMe as well.
Gotcha. Do you participate in the immediate opportunities or submit products directly?
We just submitted. It's funny you say that. We just submitted for the Walmart opportunity. So that's another customer I know that attends your events regularly. We mentioned it earlier, but yeah, we just submitted for our coffee products at Walmart for that event.
Well, I know someone who's right next to you down there that I was sharing a fight with.
Is that right?
Submitting.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's right.
So yeah, this is the time. So everybody, I know we put a lot of content out around that, so everybody's in the middle of doing the submissions.
Yep.
But it was cool because I actively got to see someone go through their submission, which was pretty cool. Just actually watching them do it. So based on your experience, like what, like a couple of leave behinds, like for a brand that's an emerging brand, first time at an ECRM, what would your recommendation be?
Yeah, I would say interact with as many of the attendees as you can. That's another benefit of ECRM. It's big enough, but it's small enough. So it's a close-knit group of folks, whether it's the workers from ECRM driving the conversations, or you're just literally elbows away from other partners that you could be having conversations with. And there's certainly events at night that there's a gathering where you can get with folks at dinner or cocktails. So I would suggest be active during those time periods and make as many connections as you can. And then once you have the meetings and you're in front of the buyers, certainly follow up with them immediately because you never know when a lead, it may not feel like one, but if you follow up, it may become one.
You never know. That's a great point. I've heard so many times where someone would discount a buyer that was on their schedule because they'd never heard of them before or never, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I didn't realize they distributed to all of these channels that I wasn't in yet, and it opens a whole new world.
Yeah. I agree with you, and I even this show in particular, I did weed through the list of attendees, but I probably accepted more this show than I have in the past because I'm kind of learning as I go. You know what I mean? So I've learned not to discount them. To your point. So I've met with a lot of folks that I probably typically wouldn't have. We're not necessarily in the food service space yet, but met with a couple food service folks. So kind of understanding what the opportunity is out there in that space as well for our products.
Oh yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunities there, especially with the RTDs, and and then you also meeting with other brands. There's a lot of learnings that you could get, and partnerships happen. I've seen partnerships. I just ran into somebody today that actually partnered with another company that he met at one of our previous food service sessions.
Okay.
So it's just, I think it's important, like you said, just talk to everybody.
Yeah, I think there definitely is cross collaboration tie-ins that could come out of these shows as well, because there's so many, to your point, emerging brands and within different categories that may have a connection point. So I would encourage that as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Are you going to be doing any line dancing tonight during the Western dinner?
I did bring my boots. Let's go.
Okay, all right.
I don't
So
have the
we'll see.
cowboy hat, but maybe I need to source one. I don't know.
Awesome. Well, listen, you got a meeting coming up, so
Yep.
we're going to wrap this up, but thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on your success. I know we're going to see a lot more.
Appreciate it. Thanks,
All right?
Ed.
Take care.